SCADA system, we need some functionality to say, okay, we have the SCADA system. The first one is the operating, so we have the visualization for the operator, and this operator can operate with industry process or production using this HIME windows to make some set points, some changes in production. So first one, we need the visualization to communicate with industry topics in our production line to make the operator possibility to work with our system. The next one, we need the communication with PLC, RTU or PAC modules. In PLC we have the communication with valves, motors, pumps, transports, and other things. This PLC is the connector for SCADA, so SCADA can see the flow data from the sensor, from valves, from motors, and SCADA can send the data to PLC to make modification to system. This is the second point we need to provide to get the SCADA functionality. The third option and third functionality is the trends. Trends is curves of analogs or some data using some charts. These charts should be possibility to export and print out using the Excel or PDF or, for example, XML files. These trends get a lot of information, and these trends we can see the online trends, so it's the actual data from the system, and we can see also the history trends, so we can say what happened, for example, 1 year ago or 5 years ago. Trends is very powerful functionality in SCADA, and we need to provide this in big SCADA to work correctly. After this, we need the functions for the alarms. Alarms, I say, is the all messages in our system. It's all failures, warnings, events from the system, and our SCADA needs to provide the functionality to see all alarms from system, and our system needs to provide the functionality for operators who can see where exactly is problem now. So operator standing before SCADA screen can see all data and all alarms from all one point. We have 20,000 tags in alarms, and operator can see what exactly happened in which valve and motors. Next functions is the SQL database. In database we can save the data for start and stop the process. We can save data about the set points in our system. So if we run some process for the customer, we can write down in database these set points and make the reports for our customer. Additionally, we can see the historian. Historian is the advanced mode of SQL, of database, and this historian is not always in SCADA system. Sometimes in aerospace and automotive we need to provide this because we need to get 10 years of history in our SCADA. So For this we need the historian. Is also our special backup for our system. In SCADA we sometimes use the library for C#, XML, Java, some special DLL objects. In this kind of high-level languages, programming languages, we can provide for our SCADA additional functionality that we need in our system. So, for example, when we buy our system and we need some special things, we can provide some library for our system, and this system can work with, for example, JavaScript. It's very powerful in new data and new SCADA systems. In new systems we see the operator, but these operators no need to be inside the production line. This operator can work remotely by the internet using the mobile, the laptop or VR gauges. This operator can work from this office and can work with some more SCADA system. So if the operators can work with whole plant in customer, you can have one operator for whole plant, and this operator can work with maintenance team, for example, when some alarm occur. So we don't need a lot of peoples inside the production when you have the automatic production modes. When something wrong with SCADA, the SCADA can send the data with emails, SMS or push notification system, and this system can say operator, oh, I have alarm with this and this system, you need to help me to make this correct. The same is with trends, so we can send the reports from trends by the email, and we can send the alarm list. The last point is connection to MES or IRP system. Is very powerful in new applications. So when a factory has the MES and IRP system, we need to have the system, the SCADA system, that can work with this kind of solutions. So the MES can send the data to SCADA, what exactly SCADA should work with, and SCADA can send back information, for example, how much parts, the good parts the system made, for example, today. This is need for new SCADA, and this kind of solutions can give information about, for example, OEE calculations. IRP system is the factory system, and with IRP connection we see what exactly go into our factory, into our material database, and what exactly this factory provide to customers, so we can have a full lifetime of the material inside our factory. Let's summarize these functions inside the SCADA system. The first is the core functionality, is the visualization for the operator. Operator can work with these screens, and operator can send data into system, and system can send the information back to the operator for the screens. The second is the communication with PLCs. These PLCs can work with valves, motors and some other elements. from sensor, temperatures, pressures, vacuum, and SCADA can control this data and make some changes when some of measurements isn't good. The next is trends. When we read data, the analog data from these controllers, from PLC controllers, we need to archive this data inside the system, and these trends should be possible to export and print with some electronic sheets. The next is alarms. The alarms should be possible to see all warning, all messages that can make the process wrong, and operators should see these alarms inside this visualization. Alarms should be also possible to export and print out. The next, and in my opinion the last core functionality, is database. Database is the core in my opinion because we need to save data about the process, about the start the process and stop the process. Is the core for reports, and this SQL we can save also the set points and parameters from the production. This is the core functionality, and the additional is also the library of high-level programming modes, is also the operating with mobile devices, with laptops or VR gauges by internet. The second of this SQL is historian, so it's extended backup of history, and communication with MES and ERP systems. Now I think we know what exactly SCADA has the functions inside.